My goodness, Noah, this is Trouble Man is just another butt-kicking film for you to be a part of. My goodness. Was there something about Fang or maybe Michael Jai White's work that drew you to be a part of this?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm beyond honored to be a part of the cast. And I got the phone call from Mike, and I was recommended by Scott Adkins. And these are two of some of the top martial arts
Right?
actors in the industry. Yeah. So I'm like, the fact that I'm getting called by these two legends, I'm like, I need to show up. So I tried my best.
You deliver. There's a lot of action to this. Was there a different way you needed to train for this than you typically train for a stunt film?
Yeah,
Stunt
so
heavy film.
that's a great question. I typically so I'm about 5'11" and I weigh usually around 180. And for this role, Mike was asking me, he's 6'1" and weighs at 235 normally. That's his sitting weight. He's like, I think I'm gonna shred and come down, but what will really help the film is if you're a much taller guy that can go toe to toe with me. You have obviously the capabilities. Can you put on some size so when we look on camera together, we look pretty even? And I was like, yeah, I can put on weight, no problem. So in 4 months, I got up to about 207, so almost about 25 pounds in
A
four
muscle
months.
though, not like eating
I,
chicken and
yeah.
and candy and cookies, right?
No, I didn't dirty bulk. I did it as clean as possible. Maybe some ice cream occasionally, but not too crazy.
Cheat day.
A cheat day every now and then, but I really tried my best. I'm like, Mike is asking me, he's a childhood hero of mine. I'm gonna do the best that I can. So putting on that muscle was totally different for me. That was something I've never been that heavy before. I've never been that big. And, typically when I train, I start every morning, Monday through Friday, with all the martial arts training that we have. For this movie, I flipped the script for myself. Now I've been training martial arts since I was 4 years old, and that's been second nature to me. But the weight training to be able to bulk and put on size, that was completely different. So it was very rigorous. 6 a.m. in the gym, lifting heavy weight 6 days a week. It was quite intense. And then on top of that, making sure that I can still be athletic and perform. So that was a whole thing. It was tough.
How did they describe then Fang to you?
You know what? It's so funny how I refer to Michael Jai White as Mike. So just for everybody that understands that.
Sure.
He's been like my big brother in all of this, and he's really watched out for me, him and his wife. But when Mike called me, he actually did not have the character written in. So Scott was like, "Hey, you got to check out this guy," and he called me. He's like, "Noah, I'm gonna rewrite the movie to add you in." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, I really want to build you up and make sure that you have scenes with every known actor in the film. Make sure that we get you enough screen time. But what you can do with the martial arts, for his words, he's like, I haven't seen it since Scott Adkins, and I want to make sure that you have that opportunity. So he was talking to me about creating this character. So he's like, I know where I can put you that would be an easy rewrite. I'd be the muscle to the triad in the film to Song. And he was like, "Is that something that you like?" And I'm like, "Totally, whatever you want to do, Mike. I'm, honored to even be here." But he wanted me to come up with my own name for the character. He was like, "Think of your own name, like tweak the dialogue the way that you want to. Like, let's be collaborative in all of this." And I would have picked my own name, but I thought it would be cooler if Mike picked the name for me. I
Okay.
was like, I could come up with a name, but what do you want to name me? He was like, what about like a dragon's fang? Like something sharp and strong.
Ooh.
I was like, if Mike wants to call me Fang, I'm cool with that. So that's kind of how that whole, thing started. But I was like, wow, this is insane. So it was quite a lot.
How much input then did you have on the stunt work aspect of things?
The stunt work aspect, so we have a extremely talented choreographer group, and it's ran by Joey Min. Joey's the man. Art School Dropout is their team. Absolutely love them, and they've been fans of my work for years as well. So when they heard that I was coming on underneath Mike's flagship, they were beyond excited to be able to work with me because I can do a lot of martial arts, technical martial arts movements that a lot of choreographers or performers might not have the experience to be able to do. So I think Joey was like a kid in the candy shop. And really, I'm very honored that Joey was so collaborative because the way that he did it was he built me a base skeleton. And what I mean by that was very, very simple choreography. And he's like, I want you to have the freedom to add your flair, your style, your spice on top of the level choreography and take it from there. So when we were in rehearsal, I already saw the previs. I saw the choreography and I was like, I know exactly how to make this my own. So in the very first fight, I would say like, half of it's Joey, the other half is like my own flair that I want to add to it. And it's really based off of my capabilities, the training that we've done for sure. But of course, I run it by Mike, I run it by Joey, and they're just like, you can do that? Hell yeah, let's go. And they're just super pumped the whole time. The second fight, I would say a lot of that was more us because we had to reshoot most of the fight because of time. So with the reshoots, Mike let me just completely take over. And I was
Wow.
like, hey, I have some ideas. And that whole hammer sequence, that was all like really a lot of that hammer sequence was all me written in. And then even how Mike was going to end the fight, I wanted it to be very special in the way that he did and how he knocked out the characters and didn't kill them. That was all really Mike and I together. But Joey created a great base level previs and it helps shorten on time as well. So that was a big, big reason that it's great to have good choreographers that can work, be collaborative with you.
Is that then a scene that you're most proud of the work you put into for the film, or is there a different one that really holds a special place in your heart?
You know what? There were two moments. So the very first one is the fight that Mike allowed me to win. So the very first fight. Mike told me when he was, writing the script, he's like, I haven't let anybody beat me since Scott Adkins, and that was almost 20 years ago. And he's like, I surely people will take notice of you. And he's like, that's what I'm trying to use this movie to help build your career. So just that in itself, I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? This is so crazy. I'm definitely a huge nerd. Like I'm like just nerding out that Spawn wants to help me rise up in the
Right.
ranks. Yeah.
You name your character, he gives you so much input.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And I
Totally. I'm like, Mike, you want
would
free
have been like,
massages on set? What do I gotta do to help out, man?
I mean, I would have been like crying and been like, excuse me, Mike, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Straight up, straight up. That's how I felt like a little kid the whole time. And then that was a great one, but the one of my memorable scenes was the very first scene where I kidnap Lala Anthony's in the opening of the film. So that was my first day on set, and I had noticed they had even more lighting equipment set up. They had it felt like they were slowing down the set for when my character had showed up and because I had seen the pacing of the rest of the set. They were jamming through everything, jamming, getting all their shots. Come to my scene, it's just the car shot, but I can tell that they were slowing it down and really taking their time. And I'm like, this is interesting. I wonder why he's doing all this. And then I get in the car and he's planning. So they have two RE cameras in the trunk of the car shooting through the mirror. And a big part of it was making sure that my eyes were telling the story in that scene. And Mike was just like getting so excited. He was throwing out all these ideas with me, which I had watched him for 4 hours prior directing. He kind of was just like, let the performers do what they want and moved on. And you'd ask him, like, do you want another take? They're like, nope, I'm good. Cool, let's move on. So that was kind of the tone. With me, he was like, all these ideas at me. And I was like, Mike, you're doing a lot right now. Is it that important for the eye acting? Which I loved. He was like, I'm not training you for just this movie. And then he walked away. And I got like fucking goosebumps all over. And that was my realization of what this project really was for Mike and myself.
Were you asking them that question from an acting standpoint or maybe a future admirer to possibly direct in the future?
I was just confused that he was like so excited because the pace of the day we got to get our shots. We got to get our shots. We got to move on. We got to make sure that we get everything we need. Then with me, he's like, time doesn't exist. Let's just have fun. And I'm like, what happened? And then I realized, oh man, he's thinking about the future with me in this scene. He's thinking about all the possibilities and what's gonna come to fruition. So that was, fingers crossed for everything. In this industry, you never know. But just the fact that that's what he said to me was more than enough to just be like a dream, you know?
How did you shake off a long day of being on set? Your adrenaline must have been like up, up, up the whole time.
I know. I'm like, as soon as I get off set, I'm like, okay, let's go to the gym. Let's go train. I literally go to the gym. I go on the treadmill for like 30 minutes. I work on my lines, then go hit the bags and do choreography. Lift weights, have my lines. So much fun.
Decompression then for you? There's no that is or is that your way to decompress after those moments?
You know, 6 days out of the week, I train so intensely. Like we're in the gym 6 hours a day. Like I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm training from 6 a.m. till noon. Then from noon, my work day really starts. Now I'm doing like, interviews with you guys. I have my castings. I get everything done till the evening. So most of my days, normally I live like a strong 12-hour day. But I make sure, and I love what I do. Like this is the career I've always dreamed of having. This is what I want to do. Is anything filmmaking, anything acting, anything with martial arts. It's so rewarding that it doesn't feel like I need to stop, but I make sure I have one day where I don't talk to a single person and I'm hibernating in my bed away from the world.
I
And I
think you
just
burned at
sleep.
that point. My goodness.
Yeah, if I have one day I can do that, the other 6 days I can just full speed ahead. No problem.
My goodness. So what did you personally take away then from working on Trouble Man? Is there I mean, other than like a whole new career, I mean, like a whole future
Yeah.
ahead of you in this business here. Clearly, with Michael, he's going to work with you again.
Well, to not spoil too much, I don't know how much. Well, I will say this since it was a public announcement at the premiere of the movie. He did introduce me to everybody on stage alongside Keith Sweat, a few of the other actors in the film, his wife Gillian White, and he had said there will be a future with the both of us where there's a universe where foes become friends. And I know what that means because he has definitely shared his plans with me for the second movie. Um, but he didn't say much past that. So I don't know how much he wants me to share, but he is working and writing the next script already, 100%. Um,
Mm.
with that, I'm just like everything that I do has a lot of it has been working on my own films, creating my own content, pretty much dreaming as a kid, as a filmmaker with all my best friends. And all of those things are starting to really get noticed with the recognition of my work in Mortal Kombat 1, the video game, into this movie now. Is that it's been really hard for me to be a normal actor where I only just do self tapes all the time. I love movies and I love filmmaking, but I like doing it with my friends. That's how I grew up. And I'm like, sometimes people like it doesn't get that much attention, and that's okay because I loved what I did so much. But it is getting attention, and it is working on the towards a career path, which is insane. And that's what I hope to continue doing is continue polishing my career, keep working on the films that I want to work on, and Mike will call me for the next one, and hopefully many others.
All right. Well, are there ones you can tease coming forward outside of working with Michael here?
Um, I I'm trying to think. I don't think so because everybody has me sign their NDAs.
I'm sure.
I definitely will say Mike has big plans for me in Trouble Man 2.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you continue to do on our screens?
Um, if I was to give any words of wisdom is what's worked for myself is I have to be more stubborn than anybody else around me. And if you have a dream, if you have a vision, you have to be relentless and uncompromising to the vision that you have. Definitely empty your cup for the people above you, but never stop working towards what you're passionate about.
Ooh, those are chilling to take to heart. I mean, I think a lot of people need to hear that. It's not just about working on projects for a paycheck. You have to fill your cup, like you said too. Whether it's a project you're passionate about or an idea you have of a script you're writing, definitely a need to keep going and a need a reminder there too.
The only bad thing is to not do it. I think a lot of people get in their head about if it's going to be good. Who cares? At least you did it. Learn from it. Go to the next one and the next one. And that's what's led me to the seat I'm sitting in right now is I just keep making the films I'm proud of and I learn from everything. But the biggest thing is I can't stop.
Keep doing it.
Yep, you got to keep going.